Hey, everybody out there, Gerald Celente, the trends forecaster, the very accurate trends forecaster and political analyst for years. He's been right on the button with coming events to come, things to come, and most of them are not good. Gerald, you've been saying for years now, and we've been talking about it for years, that when all else fails, they take you to war. Considering how all else is failing domestically, internationally, and what's going on in Gaza and Ukraine, are we closer than ever to World War III?
Well, it's already started. It's begun. It's only going to be a question of when they make it official.
Yeah.
Go back to the Ukraine war and go back to the cover of our Trends Journal in February 22nd, 2022, 2 days before the war began.
Mm-hmm.
From COVID war to Ukraine war to World War.
Yeah.
Now the Israel war.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the Ukraine war. When the United States started supplying weapons to Ukraine, bullshit Biden said, oh, no, these weapons aren't going to be used to attack Russia. They're only going to be used to defend Ukraine. All right, here's some more weapons. Go attack Russia. So if I said to you, listen, man, Larry, give me a gun. I want to blow the guy's brains out next door. And you give me the gun to blow the guy's brains out, you're an accessory to the crime.
Right.
America and NATO are at war with Russia. And they're selling the crap that if we don't stop them in Ukraine, before you know it, they're going to go into all of Europe.
Yeah.
This is the same crap they shoved down our throat when I was a young man, when the Vietnam War was going on. If we don't stop those commies in Vietnam, those dominoes are going to keep falling.
Yeah.
And before you know it, they're going to take over all of Asia. And this isn't, I'm not making this up. And the dominoes will keep falling till they hit the shores of California. And the people swallowed that crap. But off to war, off to war. Let's go back. Again, when all else fails, they take you to war. What followed the Great Depression? World War II. Google up. Franklin Roosevelt seizes all Japanese assets in America. You know why? Those dirty Japanese invaded French Indochina. Oh, wait a minute. Number one, what the hell do I care as an American what the Japanese are doing in French Indochina? Oh, I forgot the French Foreign Legion. I forgot those movies. Dirty, rotten, murderous colonists stealing rubber, tin, rape, pillaging in Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the Dutch and the English and the United States put sanctions on. Remember, this is right after the Great Recession, Depression. The Depression is going on. They cut off all, 3/4 of all Japanese trade and 88% of their imported oil.
Yeah.
I can't understand why they bombed Pearl Harbor. Son of a bitch, I can't know how they... 80% of the people were opposed to that war, America getting involved in it. But they bombed Pearl Harbor. We're off to war. Let's go back to the .com bust. Right here in your Trends Journal, when it used to be a quarterly newsletter, 1999. .com this. Fall edition. We said the .com bust would happen by the second quarter of 2000. It did. Little Georgie Bush became president. Couldn't stand them. Economy crashing. 9/11 happens. 90% of the people swallowed the crap spewing out of the mouth of that little daddy's boy with a pair of cojones smaller than a mothball. We're going to get that guy Osama bin Laden dead or alive. And off to the Afghan war, longest war in American history that we lost, like the Vietnam War, the Iraq wars, the war after war after war. You haven't won a war since World War II. So what I'm saying is, yes, it's already begun. Yeah. There's going to be a false flag event. that's going to make it official.
And are the American people going to swallow it this time that it's a real attack?
Yeah. 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 Hey, I don't want to talk about what we're talking about anymore. Did Taylor Swift get laid last night?
Right, right. That's what's going on.
Oh, well, how about Justin Timberlake? Oh my God, he got pulled over for a DW. What the hell are you telling me this shit for?
Yeah,
What are you telling me this? Top stories in Americans' media.
yeah.
As we'd say in the Bronx, the people don't know dick about shit.
And they're
My father, may rest in peace, when I started learning things, and I get upset. And he said, my dad, how come they? He said, son, take it easy. People have little minds.
yeah. I mean,
Most people, they don't know what's going on.
they're not teaching civics in school anymore, anything about the government. Social media is taking over. People want to be entertained. The hell with what's going on until it's too late. Yeah, you're right, Gerald. More and more, they're keeping it that way. And also, the longer these wars have been prolonged, the more they made tons of money.
Oh, it's in your magazine, the Trends Journal this week. We got all the numbers in there.
Yeah.
The biggest job, one of the biggest job creators are in the military-industrial complex. The military-industrial complex, that five-star general, Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces, and two-term President Dwight D. Eisenhower warned us about, that the military-industrial complex robbing the nation of the genius of the scientists, sweat of the labors, and the future of the children, and here we are.
64 years later, after Eisenhower's farewell speech, that warning, look how strong they've gotten since then. Yeah.
The country's rotting in front of our eyes.
Or,
Rotting in front of our eyes.
something
I'm
else.
down the city this past weekend. And again, I'm a city cat, born in the Bronx, used to live on the West Village,
Like,
The West Village, never before have I seen guys like this.
yeah,
Drugged out, man. Never before am I seeing guys shooting up in the street in the West Village. This is one of the richest areas around.
yeah.
Never. Filth all over the streets. When they're doing work on buildings, they have to put up the scaffolding and they cover it, filled with homeless people. Dirt everywhere. But we got to keep, $175 billion to Ukraine already? As the country's rotting in front of our eyes?
Billion.
900 billion nearly to go into the military industrial complex every year. And when you put in the CIA, the Homeland Security, NSA, well over $1 trillion. As the roads, potholes everywhere, rotting in front of our eyes.
Yeah, same way all over. Now, I live near Scranton, Joe Biden's hometown. That's going to hell now. They're shooting almost every week. A cop shot point blank range by a street punk. The streets, potholes all over the place.
Yep.
Joe Biden's hometown, and it's emblematic of what's going on all over the country. You're right, but Gerald, what I've been asking now for years, as we've been progressing towards war, and you say it's already started, I still can't understand how they could be that cavalier about World War III, where everything could be destroyed. I mean, are they that psychologically crazy? And
Yes.
I can't understand.
They're that psychologically crazy. Here, going back to Eisenhower, Google it up.
Yeah,
He didn't want to run for president. They talked him into it.
right.
He said, any man seeking the office of president is either an egomaniac or crazy. They're crazy people. They're the Bloods and the Crips in different costumes. You talk about the mafia? There's a mafia. They make the mafia look like rookies. Hey, I'm really good at killing people. Oh, that was Obama's quote in the book Double Down? Yeah. Folks, always folking us. Folks. I want that guy Gaddafi out of there. No, you got to, hey, I want that guy Gaddafi out of there. We want to steal their oil. Get that guy Assad out of there. We're still stealing their oil. Like I say, you think we would have invaded Iraq if their major export was broccoli?
Yeah. I keep thinking about the parallels with the fall of Rome. it
Yep.
came from within through corruption and greed. And then the barbarians came through the gates. They became part of the military, which is going on now. They're becoming eligible for the U.S. military service, illegals. You don't have to be a citizen anymore. And now they're getting the vote for illegals. They're working on that in national elections. So yeah, it's assault from within and without, like Rome.
Yep. And the UK, which now is taken over. One of our articles in the Trends Journal, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, Daily Caller, Bloomberg, CNN, all run by Brits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What the hell? What are you kidding me? And I love this crap, that they shove down your throat. The royal family, the king. You want to talk about a mafia?
Yeah.
Could you find a more murderous group than them? Could you find a more murderous group than the British? The sun never sets on the British Empire. We steal and rob all over the world. His Majesty, the King, the Queen. All right? And people swallow that crap.
Yeah.
We don't pee, we don't poo.
And
Look
anybody,
what every time one of these clowns go anywhere, the presidents, prime ministers, they roll out a red carpet and all these guys in their little drag costumes saluting.
and anybody who speaks out, look what happened. Julian Assange, look what
Yeah.
and nobody defended him. The mainstream media, all these investigative reporters to get at the truth, the watchdog over the government, they let him hang. For,
Yep.
how many years in the solitary conditions? He almost died before they freed him, and he had a cop a plea. He had to plead guilty to the charges, even though there was never a trial.
Yep.
I mean, this is what's happening, and people, as you say, are so unaware of this. Social media. What's
Again,
the way?
they don't take the time to study and read.
Yeah.
I mean, and look what the country's declined into. Remember when we were young guys, they had a thing called the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus? They went out of business. You know why? You don't have to pay anymore to step right up, step right up. See the fat man, see the tattooed lady. They're all over the street now. It's a circus everywhere you look. Look at it. Look at this country. It's gone to crap in front of our eyes. Going back to Assange, this is from World Socialist website. You talked about the media. The years-long systematic campaign to poison public opinion against Assange by the U.S. media and pseudo-left created the conditions for the Trump administration to formally charge Assange with espionage in 2018. In April 2019, British police burst into the Ecuadorian embassy and dragged Assange out to Belmarsh prison, where he was imprisoned for 5 years.
Oh.
The New York Times, Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal, all enthusiastically endorsed Assange's arrest and extradition to the United States. Jeff Bezos' Washington Post was the most explicit, declaring that Assange was, quote, long overdue for personal accountability. The New York Times praised his arrest, declaring, quote, the administration has begun well by charging Mr. Assange with an indisputable crime. The Guardian led the pack in vindictive slander, falsely and absurdly claiming that Assange held meetings with Trump campaign aide Paul Manafort. And it goes on. So to say what you were saying about the media, that's why I know that.
The New York Times, the Washington Post, they were crusading with the Pentagon Papers. And they won the right. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled that they had a right to publish the Pentagon Papers, even though those were secret government documents that were leaked to them. But this has all changed now. Now, if you're a reporter publishing documents that were leaked from the government, you could be prosecuted like Assange. The whole thing's
Yeah.
around. And now the Washington Post, the New York Times that were crusading with the Pentagon Papers have now flipped over the other way. So where do we go from here?
That's why people subscribe to the Trends Journal.
Yeah.
We don't do that. We tell you what in the world is going on, our trend analysis, so there's no propaganda in it, and our forecasts. We're journalists. Journalism's dead. When I was a young guy, when you mentioned the Pentagon Papers and all this was going on, boy, so many people want to become journalists.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of it happening. They used to call journalism the fourth estate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the executive branch, the congressional branch, judicial branch, and the fourth estate, the media, was to look over all of them.
Right.
And that little slime ball, murderous Bill Clinton, every time he got caught with his pants down, bombs away over Baghdad, gave us the 1996 Federal Communications Act that deregulated the communications industry. And now 6 companies own 92% of it.
Yeah,
Back then, there used to be thousands of independent radio stations, TV stations, magazines, and newspapers.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's become. I know. And just so, Gerald, wrapping it up now, I know you're busy again today, as you usually are. Where do we go from here? What's the solution? Is there any hope?
You know, hope, by the way, is the most negative word in the metaphysical dictionary. It means wanting to make something happen without doing anything to make it happen. And we're doing everything we can to make it happen. And on September 28th, we're going to have a major rally for peace. It's up to the people to change this. It does not take a majority to prevail, but rather an irate, tireless minority keen on setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men, since Samuel Adams. When the revolution happened, less than 5% of the people were for it.
That's right.
Scott Ritter is going to be one of the speakers. I just had dinner with him and Judge Andrew Napolitano a few weeks ago. And Ritter was so excited. And he spoke at one of my previous rallies, and so has Napolitano. And Ritter said, we need 1 million people. We need 1 million people so the New York State Thruway is closed down as people are coming in here to Kingston.
Yeah.
We have to make them understand that they're public servants and they have to listen to us. They got it backwards. They got it backwards. How could anybody listen to a little slime ball jerk? I'm Chucky Schumer. I'm the senator. I'll tell you what to do. Hey, get it in your head, little boy. You work for me. You got it? You got it? Give here a representative. You represent us. You got it backwards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not taking your crap. That has to be the attitude. Without that, we're finished. We're finished. You know, I'm from a different time. I'm from a different place. If you haven't been there, don't tell me what it was. I'm born 1946. Youngest of 5 in the Bronx. A Napolitan. Born to be free. I'm a little kid. I come home crying. My father, what happened? I was a premature baby. All my brothers over 6 feet. You know, I'm only 5'7" and a half. My sisters were like 5'9", 5'10". I said, I got beat up. See, don't come home crying. And he walked away from me. I became the toughest kid. I was the fastest. I'm on you right away. And of course, I went on to teach close combat for many years. I attack the attacker. I don't attack anybody else. We need a peaceful revolution. People have the fight in their soul. And we've lost it. I get in a fight with my father, and he said, little son of a bitch, So you think I'm telling you what I'm telling you because I want you to be like me? I want you to become yourself. And that's what the people need to be, themselves. Oh, no, I'm a Democrat. I'm a Republican. I'm a conservative. Get the hell out of kindergarten.
Yeah.
Grow the hell up. How about being a person that's free? Free to be who you want to be. And don't tell me I got to love who you want to be. Just be who you want to be and save your crap. Look at the guy. Look at the girl, the guy. I don't know what he got what cut off. That's our assistant secretary of health,
Yeah.
Rachel Levin. A freaky little jerk. You're telling me about health? You're telling me about health? Hey, Rachel. Oh, it was Richard Robert. First book I worked on, Natural Healing, 1980s. Honorary doctorate from the National University of Health Sciences for the work I've done in integrative medicine. I got a little freak with hair and I got to look up to you? You want to be a freak? Be a freak. But don't you tell me I got to go freak with you.
Yep.
That's the Bronx attitude. If you haven't been born there, haven't lived there, don't know what it's like. And that was the true America.
Yeah.
Again, you had my book, What Zizzy Gave Honey Boy.
Yeah.
True story about love, wisdom, and the soul of America. They did a movie on it with Doris Roberts, the woman that played the mother in Everyone Loves Raymond.
I saw
about the freedom, the respect, the fun, Never, never, never did any of them talk about politics.
No.
And every weekend it was party time. And now it's a shit show. Look at the cover of this week's magazine. The presidential reality show, The Great Debate. Daffy Duck versus Goofy. That's all, folks.
All right. So, Gerald, once again, before we sign off, your rally is when and where, and the speaker is Scott Ritter, who was the UN weapons inspector who debunked the weapons of mass destruction. Judge Napolitano, a vast legal background. So spell it out for us again before we close.
Yeah, Max Blumenthal, a real brave guy, gray zone. Now, so far, those are the people we have so far, and Anya Palmapil, the wife of Max Blumenthal, who's a real. You look at her work, boy. So again, Max Blumenthal is Jewish, totally opposed to the Israel genocide war. And again, Scott Ritter, Judge Napolitano, we're trying to get some great musicians here as well. This is a time, if we don't unite for peace, we're going to die in war. World War III has already begun. Israel is now, we've said it, again, when all else fails, they take it to war. They're going to ramp up the war against Hezbollah in Lebanon, and Hezbollah is not going to lose. Hezbollah people don't know this. I mean, again, people that know, 2006, they threw the Israelis out of Lebanon.
Yeah.
And Iran said if Israel attacks Lebanon, they're behind it. They're going to get, and there's no way that Israel is going to beat Iran and Lebanon. No way. So what they say, they're going to go, it's the Samson option.
Yeah.
They're going to go nuclear.
And look at Ukraine. The French Foreign Legion already in Ukraine. The NATO is now laying out invasion routes through Ukraine into Russia.
Yep.
The longer range missiles to hit Russia directly. It's escalating.
Yeah. If we don't stop it, it's up to the people. Again, you know the reason why I own the most historic 4 buildings in America, and that's Crown and John Street, where the rally is going to be, the seeds of democracy. It's the only place where there are pre-revolutionary wars on each corner.
Yeah.
I bought them after I came back from Berlin in 2012. Berlin was grander than Paris. before it was bombed out. Everywhere I look, I see a beautiful German building and all the new construction.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, why didn't the people stop this? You're losing. Again, I'm a fighter, but hey, if I'm losing, man, how can we solve this? Where were the people? Where were the people to stop it? When you're losing, you're losing. You're losing.
Yeah.
Where were the people? And where are the people now? We're losing. Our country's rotting in front of our eyes. Again, read the Trends Journal this week. Look about how the middle class has declined, a little over like 12%.
Yeah.
You know, on and on and on. Again, all we become are plantation workers of slave landia, the big zone, everything.
No. It's a different world that we grew up in.
Yep.
And not a better world. It's getting worse. Yeah.
It's getting worse.
Yeah. All right, Gerald, we'll be talking again. And everybody out there, Kingston, New York, Gerald's headquarters, a great rally. Everybody needs to go. Everybody needs to show their support and their resistance to what's going on that's going to destroy
Yeah.
it all.
And bring as many people as you can. John and Crown Street, Kingston, New York, September 28th. It's up to you. It's up to you. You know, not a penny from the billionaires. Can you imagine if they gave us $1 billion apiece? How about giving us 100 million? No, we'll give it to Trump. We'll give it to Biden. We won't give you shit.
Anyway. All right,
Yep,
Gerald.
it's up to the people. Thank you. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you for all that you've been doing all these years at your own expense in terms of career, money. You know, you've been putting so much into this, and I can't believe the output that you put out every day on your site. I mean, you're constantly in motion, constantly doing interviews, constantly writing articles. It's amazing. So, Gerald, thank you, and everybody out there who I think is extending their thanks to you as well. See you again, Gerald.
Thank you.